to make your home more energy efficient. Because together, we have the power to make a difference.
This message brought to you by Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation.
Hi, I'm Bill Gaither, and thank you for supporting the ministry of this gospel music station.
WSGI, AM 1100, Springfield's God Informer.
One street over there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's happening? One street over from where you live in here in Robertson County and points beyond, because topic this morning is going to go, it is universal. It is one of those things that is just plaguing the world. And unfortunately, my sweet friend Lori Browning had the ultimate nightmare of loss from this, and it has inspired you to do something about it. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Would that be fair to say?
Fair to say.
Welcome,
Fair
Lori Browning, to the show. And I have heard about you a couple of times. I think I saw a flyer, too, for this walk that you're doing, or the run. What run? It's a walk that you're doing on Saturday. And, you know, it just didn't really register with me what it was, but I was like, okay, I saw fentanyl. And, you know, that's something we all are conscious of, because we all know, because the recreational drug use that has been prevalent since time began. Okay. I mean, it just really, substance abuse has never been something, maybe in the garden before the fall of mankind. Right. But it's something, if there's something that people find gives them any kind of pleasure, it becomes addictive, and it's like, you know, and those substances have been laced with something called fentanyl, which promises a bigger high, but it's just killing our loved ones. It's killing our kids. You know, I'm a high school teacher.
Yes.
You know, we talk to the kids about, you may try something for the first time and it be the only time you ever do.
100%.
I mean, because this stuff is just not what it was 20, 30 years ago. I mean, it's been around. I don't know, how long has fentanyl been around, man?
I'm not even 100% sure how long it's been around. I think it's at some point, it has been used for maybe in cancer patients or other things,
Yeah.
but definitely not what we're seeing coming from China.
No, and that's the thing. You will see fentanyl in drug use, and I am so not a medical person. I've got friends that could address it, but fentanyl in its original intended state was a drug used to treat disease and things like that, and it was beneficial, and I believe that they still use it.
Correct.
But it's the manufactured, sub-manufactured fentanyl that is just killing people in such an alarming rate. And God bless you. You paid the ultimate price.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
yourself
I will.
and why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'll tell you that it does kill 22 high school students every week.
What?
So it's just, you've got to wake up. I mean, and it's not these bad children or children,
No.
it's not. It's the best of the best children, families. It does not discriminate. It does not discriminate with politics, anything whatsoever. And your child, you will say, we saw this in DC when we were up there, not my child. But I will guarantee you, if your child thinks, oh, I'm going to have take this little pill, it's going to make me feel good, I'm going to sleep better, I'm going to do better on a test, there's a good chance your child will not wake up.
Now you gave those numbers 22 a week. Is that a USA number?
It is. Every week, 22
I just wanted to
high school
see,
students.
so across the U.S., we're losing 22 students a week
Yes,
to fentanyl deaths.
correct.
And guys, I'm telling you, it's just, and like you said, they think it's nothing. They
Yeah.
think it's nothing.
Exactly.
And I've heard story after story after story about these. It's like they would never do this. Somebody talked them into it. It's just,
Yeah.
we have a campaign through the Robertson County Prevention Coalition where we do the news 3
Right.
days a week at Greenbrier High School. And so we started just putting a couple of lines in there. Just say no, your dreams are bigger than your being included with your peers.
Yeah.
Say no, stay clean so
Yeah.
you can live to dream. Just things like that. I'm paraphrasing the one we've got going this week. We change it every week, but it is just so tragic. And can you tell us your story? Tell us your story.
Okay. So Ethan is just absolutely, we lost him. He's just absolutely the most amazing, hilarious, just funny. The kid next door absolutely was never really in trouble or not, just, the perfect son. If there is such a thing. But he actually, I guess the first time I'd heard a little bit about Ethan using anything, it was just, he was in high school and it was at a party and it was just alcohol. So I really wasn't aware of the substance abuse or that he was using until he had gotten involved with cocaine. And that was not something that, you don't think they can hide it. And let me tell you, you wouldn't know that they were using, and you wouldn't expect it, especially from Ethan. So he was like, I guess it was like a red flag because I'd never seen anything like this, cocaine psychosis. And it was like seeing somebody that you've never seen before in your life. You just cannot, you just can't even imagine. Because I was like, Ethan, oh my gosh, I'm going to video you when you're doing this because you won't recognize the person that you are at all. And so he was living with me and just doing fantastic. Because I was like, you got to stop this. I'm not going to bury you. You got to stop this. And but I asked him, I said, like, why are you doing it? And he's like, I like it. I just like it. And that's exactly how he said it. And I was like, you're going to have to stop. And so he did. And for 3 months, was staying with us and just living upstairs in his bedroom and hanging out. And he was going to college at Austin P. He graduated high school with honors. He graduated high school with just so many college credits under his belt that he could have easily graduated high school with an associate's degree. He was just so smart. But I guess it was probably he started school in probably September, taking a lot of classes at home, doing great, passing everything. And then it was probably the 1st of December. I guess school was out. He finished the semester, thought he would just have him a little celebration. I don't know. But when I saw I was looking at my phone on Life 360, and he was at a car wash on Dickerson Road across from Skyline. And I knew, I just knew what he was doing. I just had a feeling, and I sent him a text message because, you have to be so careful because, oh my God, Mama sees me on Live 360. I'm gonna turn my Live 360 off. So you've got to be so careful not to just, separate boundaries or just, let him get defensive and then, not come around or not see him. So I had to be careful. He really didn't respond that day. It was early December. And then I guess it was probably December the 5th. He's like, Mom, he sent me a text. I'm spending the night with Gigi and Pop, which are my parents. And I thought, oh, okay. Actually, I was going to kind of relieved because, he was his bedroom was upstairs above ours. And gosh, he played video games all night long, bouncing off the walls, hooping and hollering and screaming. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get one good night's sleep because he's staying over there. And then, I know he must have used that night because my mom was like, he was seeing things. He thought people were after him. Why are they egging my car? He literally believed everything that he was hearing and seeing, and you couldn't persuade him that he was wrong at all. But he did. He passed at my mom and dad's house, in the bed there. I guess I can back up a little bit because knowing what he was doing, I think I was always just scared to death. I was always just terrified. And I guess in a way, I probably always thought I'm going to lose him. I just always thought that. So when I got home in the afternoon, I just holler up the stairwell, I'm home, and just wait to hear his voice. But
you get relief. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. So, I can tell a little bit more about his story. We got a little bit of extra time and a little bit more about the walk, but that particular day, it was December the 6th. It was just pouring down rain. I mean, it was just monsoon. I was headed up to Shallowbox Bakery to get a birthday cake for my boss, and then I was headed on to Belle Meade over there, kind of across the country. And I guess I got into the office, and it was probably about 11 o'clock. My mom and daughter, they work down at Lowe's in Pleasant View, and I guess my dad had called my mom, and hey, you got to come home. He didn't ever tell her what was going on or anything like that, or they would have not made it home. So on their way home, they're calling me at work and telling me, oh, there's something wrong with Ethan. What hospital do you want him to go to? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, just send him to Vanderbilt, and I'll just head that way from Belle Meade. And I was probably at Post Road and White Bridge, and my daughter called and said, Mom, Ethan's dead. And so here I am in Nashville, a good 35, 40 minutes from home. And I'm like, no, that's probably not right. Let me back up again. I called Ethan's dad and was like, hey, are you off work? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you got to get over to my mom and dad. Is there something wrong with Ethan? And he's like, oh, okay. And so I don't know. Wasn't aware that Ethan had passed. And I called him back, and I'm like, I'm screaming, like, you got to go. Like, you really got to go. Like, I don't even know if he's breathing. And so his dad's a paramedic firefighter and has just so much knowledge, just so intelligent as well, and just a lot of knowledge about Narcan. And had always been telling Ethan, right, about Narcan and, all this. And so Ethan was aware of it, but he never thought it would happen to him. Never. And I'm sure they all think this is not going to happen to me. But his dad gets there. I'm trying to get there from Nashville in this storm. And then when I get there, there's just police cars everywhere. I think maybe there's an ambulance there that really didn't serve a purpose at the, once we knew the outcome. The house was just taped off like there was some kind of crime going on. Nobody could go inside except for me and Ethan's dad and my dad, who was there because when he found Ethan. We did let Emma come inside, but he was just asleep in his bed. And that's how, that's so many, there's so many, they're just asleep in their bed, or they're just in their car, or, but Narcan, I do believe that it does save lives.
Oh, yeah.
And, not just
Seen it
one.
happen.
Yeah, not just, but, if you've got one Narcan, you need to have two. So we went through all that, and, they ended up bringing in, I guess, like, the people, I don't know what they call they come in and get the body and leave with them and things like that. Then we had about a week to plan his service, and went up to Robertson County, just picked out every single thing we thought Ethan would want, like colors and everything. And I don't even know how I got through it at all. And then somebody asked me, it's like, well, how long has Ethan been gone? And I was like, oh my God, it's almost 3 years. And like, I looked on my Facebook and memories and stuff, and I was like, I don't even know that first year. I don't even know, I don't even remember living 2023. I don't even know what I did or anything. And then I started looking back on Facebook, and it's like, oh, so, it really, it just flies by. It really flies by. But
And you're just sitting here. I'm just sitting here listening to your story. It just breaks my heart. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But I can tell you a little bit why I got involved with United Against Fentanyl. And I'll tell you, when it campaigned on social media, I was probably the second person to reach out to a gentleman named Paul Martin. I had no idea what I was doing, what I was getting myself into. I'd never done anything like this before. I have no experience, but from day one, I knew if this could happen to my son, it could happen to absolute anybody. I mean, anybody. And so I got involved to spread awareness for you. These, our kids are not coming home. Everything that we're doing, everything we do on Saturday, is for you. I mean, it's just to spread awareness. And I was just thinking the other day, the one thing about this walk, if I could tell anybody, it would be if you have access to children, teenagers, young adults. I mean, this fentanyl is killing people from 18 to 45 years old. It's more than cancer, more than heart disease. It's more than gun homicides. It's more than car accidents. I mean, it is out there and it's running rampant. So if you've got access to children, even middle school, even small children, it should be started in elementary school. Get them to this walk. They've got to hear this message. It's just, we've got lanyards. We need to see folks to come wear the lanyards of our angels. And it's not some big, hike or walk or anything like that. You don't even have to walk, but you are going to want to hear the speakers. You're going to want to hear their stories. And wear a lanyard for our kids, and, remember the ones that we've lost, and get educated on what's going on in this country. There's no charge whatsoever. There's no fee to do anything. And if you've got access to resources, and you want to come and get the word out about what you're doing, join us. There's no charge for resources, for vendor booths or anything like that.
Okay. And so help me understand exactly how this is structured, because so it starts at what time and where, and you say a walk led, the walk is going to start where and go where. So kind of give me the particulars there.
Okay. It's really simple. It's just Martin Luther King Jr. Park here in Springfield on 2623 South Main Street. Could not be more perfect. It is the absolute most perfect place that you can imagine for this walk. I had looked at everywhere else in the county, and this was open, and I really didn't understand. I didn't know. I'd never even been up there and seen it, but I knew I wanted it because we had to have a place.
It is a good place for what you're doing.
Amazing,
It's
yeah.
a good central location.
It really is. So it's a rubber path. It's a circle, and there's no set limits. If you want to walk one time, you don't even have to walk at all. Just come and be with us. But it's a great little circle. Folks will walk around. I've got some chants. We're gonna, I've got a bullhorn coming today, and we're gonna lead some chants and talk about our kids. And Dr. Kumar's going to be there to kick things off at 10 o'clock. There is a registration if you want to. And I can tell you that you can go to walkforlives.org and you can put in your zip code and it'll tell you or show you the closest walk to you. This is a nationwide walk. The entire country, all across America, is coming together on Saturday, September the 20th. The time may vary, wherever you're walking at, but we're going to do it at 10 o'clock Central in Springfield. Okay. So come early. We're going to be there at least from 10 to 2. I am looking for a food truck. I'm hoping that the parks, the recreation folks down at the center, they're working hard to find somebody to come on site and be a food truck for us. But I do know the splash pad will be open, so bring your little ones, play in the water, play on the playground. It's just going to be fantastic. We're just going to walk and do some chants, and if you want to speak, I promise you the door is open. You just walk up to me, tell me your name, and tell me you want to tell your story. And I will write your name down on a little sticky note, and I'll write down the time that you want to go up in the press box and speak. And one thing I love about the press box is because this situation, nobody wants to be looked at or seen, because if you break down, if you never spoke before, you don't want eyes on you. You don't need somebody just standing there looking at you when you can't even say another word. So I love that you're going to be up in a press box and just telling your story from the heart. And it's just going to be a fantastic day.
God
just
bless
perfect.
You.
Thank you.
This is something I work with Celebrate Recovery, and testimony is powerful.
It is.
When you hear personal stories. I'm just thinking about wanting to share this with, because I have access to teens.
Yes.
I teach high school students and letting them hear this segment of this show. And where did your son graduate from?
Sycamore High School. Mm-hmm.
And so, because I knew it had to be up in this area.
Right.
Now, you shared one stat about 18 to 44. Is that what that stat? Because that was a little confusing. I want to clarify this because I want to make sure if I play this for my students, you had said 18 to 44. That's kind of like the core where it hits, right?
It definitely is.
But what about you were talking about we're losing 22 a week across the country, teenagers.
Yes. Yeah, this is probably an old statistic here that I found about fentanyl and what it is doing and how it does kill more than, it's more than cancer and more than automobile accidents and stuff like that. But, I can back up and tell you there is a website out there and it is nothing but babies. It is the littlest babies. It's a 1 month old. It's a 1 year old, 16-month-old, and I've got pictures of them. And, people are, how in the world did they get this? Well, you know what? Mom and dad probably had a little bit on them. Yep. And babysitter had a little bit on them. Yep. And that's all it takes. You're not going to see it. You're not going to, I don't even know if you can feel, you probably can feel it, but I can tell you that it was less than 4 grains of salt that killed my son.
Well, and see, and that's the thing people don't understand. If you see sometimes these dramatic depictions on law enforcement type shows where somebody touches it accidentally and gets it. That happens.
It does.
That happens. That's why these little ones they get a hold of something that their parents have, and you maybe not even ingest it, but just it is that poisonous.
It is.
And it is just. It has been incredible what it's done. And I grew up in the 60s and 70s and all of that. And, you'll hear adults in my generation talk about things that they did back in the day. Well, this isn't the same.
Right.
It is not the same at all. And all of that was bad. But this is not just bad. It will kill you dead before you even realize what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear these horror stories all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're not hearing them, well, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because it's happening everywhere. And I understand better now what this event is. So let's just kind of clarify. You heard about this national walk, a national push on September 20th to draw awareness about conquering the fentanyl use and the fact that it's coming into our country illegally, and it should stop. I mean, it's just unbelievable that this is coming in and killing our kids and killing so many. And I mean, like you said, it doesn't discriminate.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't discriminate. That's one thing I always say. We have our recovery court graduation twice a year, and I'm on the recovery court board here in Robertson County, and we come together. And the thing that drew me into the work of recovery court is the remembrance ceremony that we do every year. Althea Sickle puts this together, and it just blows my mind because you sit there and you look at these people who've been lost to a lot of the times it's fentanyl that's killed them because they're chasing a high and they get a hold of something that's just poison, and they've got an addiction to the high and they're gone. And like you said, it could be anyone. You look and you're like, man, that looks like my cousin. That looks like my little brother. That looks like my mom. That looks like a kindergarten teacher. I had one. I was like, man, that looks like somebody that's teaching kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
Grandmothers, grandfathers. As you see these faces flash through on the screen, and you think this could be anyone in my life.
Exactly.
And it's just absolutely something we need to draw awareness to. So this is your opportunity here in Robertson County to go and be a part of drawing awareness to the poison that is fentanyl that is taking so many that we love and cherish. And it's happening at Martin Luther King Jr. Park this Saturday starting at 10. Sabi Kumar, Dr. Kumar is going to be there, our representative in the State House. And again, this Saturday, and this is a nationwide effort. And you just go out there and you walk, and it's just to raise awareness. You're going to hear testimonies from others.
Correct.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's
What an
extremely
amazing thing.
powerful.
And bless your heart. You, like you said, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to do it.
Exactly.
I love
exactly.
your
We're
heart.
just,
That's awesome.
thank you. I just, I think I never, and I've said this before, I have never, ever one time been embarrassed that my son was doing drugs. It's never been like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that and I'm going to try to hide this. But it's like, oh my God, 100%. If my son is doing this, your son could be doing this.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
And they are going to hide it, and you might not even know it. So you need to be watching your kids. You need to be going through their things, going through their phones, like you've never done that before. And just don't think that it can't happen to you because, like I said, he didn't grow up like this, and nobody would have ever thought that of Ethan at all.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
There's a stashed away trailer that they have, and we're trying to get one here in Robertson County. I don't know where we're at on that, but I've toured it, and it shows you the places where kids hide and stash stuff.
Yeah.
And how they cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it will blow your mind. We did a thing, we did a remembrance ceremony at our school, and it's something we want to do again about people that were connected to people at school that had been lost to drugs. And during that process, we, sent out a anonymous questionnaire to a few of the classes just saying, do you know anybody? Have you had any experience? And one of them came back and said, I am like a year and a half in recovery. And it was a young person that had gotten addicted in middle school and made their way out. And once I got to know them, because they came and let me know who they were, I was like, you're kidding me.
Right.
To see that had been this young person's journey, and you'd have never thought it.
Exactly.
Never thought
Exactly.
it. And they've since graduated and doing fabulous, last I heard. So, but it's just, it could happen to anybody.
It could.
It
And
happen to anybody.
one of our speakers that I'm so proud of and just so grateful and thankful, and it's going to be so awesome to introduce him, and that's Shannon Heflin with Cheatham County Sheriff's Department. He's going to tell just a most powerful, just really an incredible story about a young high school football player who got hurt and needed, pain medication.
Yeah.
And then after that pain medication, he really still needed medication, and he turned to something, substance abuse, and it was laced. Knew his parents really well. I think mom came home, found the son in the bed or in the home, passed away. And it was almost just a mission to find out where he got that fentanyl. And that's really hard to do, to find out where it came from, who sold it to you. And he was telling me a little bit about it, and he'll go into more detail at the walk. But this young guy, he thought, if I could just get into his phone, I might see it. I might know where it came from. And he'll tell you that he was on his last chance to, the very last chance to open that boy's phone before he was officially locked out, and looked at this kid's Facebook page and saw his football picture on there, and it was number 32. And that number just stood out to Shannon. And he typed in 32, 32, 32, and that phone opened.
Oh, man.
And when that phone opened, he knew where it came from.
Wow.
And he found this young man, and he met him up here in Clarksville at the Sango Walmart and said, do you know this guy? And the boy said, yeah, I know him. And Shannon said, well, get your phone out. And the guy, he didn't want to get his phone out and this and that. And finally got his phone out, and Shannon called that number, and his phone rang. And said, you know so-and-so? And he said, yeah. And it's like, well, you're under arrest for second-degree murder.
Wow.
And I want to tell you, we're going to find you. We are going to find you. There is an army of mothers out there that if you're dealing and you're selling and you're killing our kids, I can guarantee you, if you're not already dead, we're going to find you. Just a matter of time. And just as soon as this walk's over, my plan is to just start with legislator and just go. We've got to have more penalties in Tennessee. We've got some states out there. I know one person has gotten 50 years for dealing fentanyl and killing someone. And we need that here. Not a little slap on the wrist, but we're going to lock you away for a long time.
That's right.
And we know somebody that's gotten 30 years, but right now it's pretty much just a few years here and there and stuff, and then you're out. But it's coming. I mean, I can promise you that we're coming for you.
If you're dealing and killing these kids, you're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, 100%. And it's,
Amen.
Me and Emma, my daughter, will go up to D.C. We went there last year. There's a big walk in October. It's Lost Voices of Fentanyl. And, I mean, it is a ruthless army of mothers. I mean, just hardcore. We're going to find you. We've got speakers. I know Pam Bondi's going to be there this year. I cannot wait to see her, hear her. We've got so many folks that's coming in from the Texas border to tell us what's going on down there.
What's going on down there.
And I'm telling you, it's actually has been these parents that have just taken over and pushing for conviction and just beating the country to death to do something about this.
Well, I'm proud to meet you. I'm
Thank you.
so glad that Terry and Megan called me and said, LaVern, you've got to have her on. And thank you guys. We had another guest scheduled, and we were going to share the time, and they said, no, give her the 30. And
thank you.
Man, well, we needed it. We needed to hear about this. Saturday,
Awesome.
We'll keep promoting it, okay?
Thank you.
God bless you. I'm so glad to meet you. And you
Me
have
too.
my phone number now.
I do.
So you stay in touch. And let me know
Absolutely.
What's going on. God bless
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
We've got Sherry from United Ministry standing by, and so we're going to bring her on in here. But we'll talk about this again. We'll talk about it the rest of the show today, and of course we'll promote it for you tomorrow. And
Awesome.
pray you just have a great turnout.
Thank you.
And I'm assuming this is going to be a yearly event.
Yeah, we've already heard about next year. So
got you.
absolutely.
Okay, we got out a little bit further on, or earlier.
Yeah.
Promote it. Earlier
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
next year.
100%.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
sweetheart.
to meet you.
And I'm going to let we stay live, so I'm going to let you ease out, and I'm going to let Sherry ease in while I'm talking about my sponsors, if that's okay. Thank you so much, Lori. Nice to meet you, sweetheart.
Nice
and God
to meet
bless
you.
you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Look, guys, as we continue on, we just got so many things going on that we want to share with you. I want to remind you, Pastor to Plate dinner is happening tomorrow night at Bernard Farms Custom Cuts and Market. May still be some tickets for that, but you need to just get online or just stop by there and just ask Julie if they've got any tickets left. That is going to be a wonderful time. So I want to remind you about that. And, of course, as always, going to remind you about our friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. What's going on in the real estate market? Well, you need to have people in real estate to tell you all about it. So you understand the nuances of interest rates and what that means for the bottom line. What Barry's always told me, Barry and Rebecca have always told me, interest rates will go up. And I'm like, well, is it not a good time to buy because interest rates are high? And they're like, no, it's always a good time to buy because whatever property is selling, if it's something you're interested in, you may never get another shot at it. And that is the thing you need to remember. Because here's what happens. If interest rates are higher, that means the house sell price goes down. If the interest rates go down, the house sell price goes up. It's always the same. They're not making any more real estate, guys. So when's a good time to buy? Today. And you can talk to Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty and find out all you need to know if you're a buyer and you want to get into the market. You want to see, number one, how much do you qualify for? What your budget can handle. I had a friend that they ended up in a house. It turned out they couldn't afford it, ended up having to move. I mean, they had a couple of moves just in a couple of years, like maybe 3-4 years, that weren't necessary if they'd had good realtors on the front end that had told them, you can't do this. This is not going to work for your budget. They're going to help you see that and see how much home you can afford to buy. And the nuance of living up in Kentucky, some folks are living in Kentucky, it's more affordable. But if you're living in Kentucky, working in Tennessee, I don't care that we don't have a state income tax. If you're living in Kentucky, you're going to pay one. And you got to figure that into your bottom line. Barry and Rebecca, they've been at this a long time. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. He came out of a marketing background, was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville, brings that marketing expertise to make sure your property is seen in the absolute best light. Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buybuy, robertsoncounty.com, or give Rebecca a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and let them know you turned Cynthia. Sherry's here from United Ministries.
I'm glad I don't have to talk as fast as you do.
I've been doing this a long time, though. It just, once you've done this as long as I have, you just don't even really think about it. But thank you. It's, but how are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you
so
very
good to
much.
see you.
Good to see you.
Brian sent me a schedule of different ones that are coming in. I've stolen their time the last 2 weeks because we had some things we had to cover because, United Way comes in once a week. And then he showed me that he wasn't coming in, but I get to visit with you. So, Brian, I miss you. I look forward to catching up with you next week. But, what a good sub to send in here. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm great. You just working all the time, working circles around people, aren't you?
I'm trying.
I love it. I love it. So, what's going on at United Ministries?
Well, we are the food bank here in Robertson County, and we are distributing food. We still have around 700 families every month that comes in to get supplemental help. It's an easy thing to do. I mean, if you're out there and you need food, that's one thing we're not going to do. We're not going to turn you away. We're going to give you food. There's always a need, and I know that things are getting a lot tighter. But so far, we've been able to just keep on rolling the way we always have and trying to do our best to make sure we're giving a sufficient amount of food for people's needs.
I love it. And you talk about things getting tighter. We've seen the same thing because I do not work there now. I was on staff at Madison Church of Christ and the Benevolent Centers where I worked out of a lot of the time. And I can remember when I was on staff there, we just had stuff running everywhere, it seemed like, especially right after COVID. And, I'm still a member of the church up there. And so if I'm up there and you see the shelves are just nothing like what they used to be. So it has gotten tighter. I don't know if we've gotten less stuff we're getting from the, I'm forgetting the name of the food, Second Harvest. And it's just like, I lost it for a minute. But I think that's changed some of the things we're getting there because y'all get a lot from Second Harvest, right?
Right. We get all of our USDA foods from Second Harvest. And a lot of people don't realize, but we have to purchase food from Second Harvest.
Yes.
The USDA comes in at no cost, which has been a lot of the products that we were receiving has started to sort of dwindle.
Yeah.
The government has changed a lot of the opportunities for farmers to give us food, and there's just a great need. Where I used to spend maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a month to supplement what we get from Second Harvest, I'm now spending almost $4,000 to $5,000 a month.
Really?
There's where the cost comes in, and the problems start is because as we're an all volunteer food bank, and we depend on the volunteering people of the Springfield area and the Nashville area with Second Harvest giving us the help that they give us. You know, if we don't have the churches and the community behind us, then we're going to start having more problems.
So when you talk about, now I know the structure of how our benevolent center works, and a lot of the things, while we got that USDA food in, they would purchase at a discount stuff from Second Harvest. Do y'all do that as well?
Yes, but it's, you know, you say a discount and it sounds really good. The main thing we have is the fact that they actually bring it up twice a month. We get a truck, and we're getting between usually 12 to 15,000 pounds every 2 weeks.
Right.
And now the cost factor of having the truck come up, you know, people don't realize we pay over $50 every time the truck drives up here.
Right.
Just for the truck driver and the truck.
Right.
And you have to count into that. And then, like I say, we could probably buy food cheaper, but nobody can go out and just go to the market and just start picking up canned foods and cases and to the quantities that we need.
Right.
So therefore, when people do bring in their, you know, if they bring in a bag of groceries or if they bring in 10 boxes of groceries, everything matters.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to be giving out the front door to try to help the people in our community.
So that's one thing that, you know, we have seen that there was a time that like our Terry Ashley's our benevolence minister, and you know there was a time when he could stretch $1 so much further by using it at Second Harvest, but that's really not the case anymore, like you said. So if you want to go out and get a case of peanut butter, do it. Of course, peanut butter is a USDA item too, isn't it?
Not always,
Not
right?
always?
We
Okay.
haven't seen peanut. I bet we didn't see peanut butter maybe delivered through USDA maybe 5 times, 6 times since the first of the year.
Really? So
Most
that's
of the time-
good staple, guys. That's a really good staple you could drop off right there.
That's right. Well,
You
we're,
know.
you know, cereal's another
Really?
thing to have, you know, just have for breakfast, just to have something. And it's, you know, somebody will say, well, what about the milk? Well, I mean, if we get milk, that's great. If they eat cereal dry, that's great too.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever happens. So,
Yeah.
but so that's the thing. It has changed so much since I was working at the church and seeing, you know, and that's one thing too. I was paid staff. You guys are all volunteers.
Right.
You know, you are doing it all volunteer. How many people do you have coming in volunteering?
As a rule, I usually have around 22 people. We're open from 10 o'clock to 1:30 on Monday through Thursday. So our hours aren't very long, so it's not a long shift that you would be taking on, but I try to keep a core group of about 22 people. And then I'll have people, Brown and Associates, they've been coming in. I've got 2 guys, 2 of the accountants have been coming in on Monday and helping. I mean, you know, anybody that wants to come in. I've got a man and his wife today that are coming in just to see if they want to start volunteering.
Right.
And, you know, I'm always having people
That's
just
wonderful.
sort of come in and try to help out.
Well, you have to have that because, you know, life changes and, you know, people go different directions and they're not available at this time. And you just have to have that constant. You'll have those solid people that are there. There's people that are volunteered at the Benevolence Center up at Madison that have been there long before I worked there, and they're still there, you know, because they're just that dedicated to it, and they're volunteers.
Right, and
Like I
that's what
said,
it takes. You have, in order to open the door, we have to have.
You have to
I
have
have
those
to have at least
volunteers.
5 people in there.
Yeah.
To do all the stations that we do, giving out the USDA, working on the computer, working at the door, bagging the food,
Yeah.
moving the boxes around in the back. I mean, it's not a hard job. It's really not hard. It's not a lot of heavy lifting or anything like that, but there is some.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got to keep it organized, or else you're running back there and you know putting 5 cans of green beans in a bag instead of giving them an assortment.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm quite familiar with what you're doing, and I know it's just such a vital need. And I just love you. You're just so full of energy. And again, that y'all can do this up here completely voluntarily is such a testimony to this community. It
Well,
is such a testimony.
I think everyone that works in there, you know, they always say it takes a village. Well, it does. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's helping the community and you've got people that will assist you and make it work, that's the only way it does work. You have to have the people. And I've got to tell you, I'll brag on the most of them are ladies. Most of us have gray hair. So, young people, they're still working and they have the kids at home. But I mean, I do have some young people that'll come in, and we try to treat everybody with respect when they come to the door, and give them the opportunity to fill their needs without any questions. I always tell people we are not the food police. We are there to assist and help people with their food problems.
Right. And so what is the process? If we know somebody that needs food assistance, you have to qualify for the USDA.
Correct.
But
and
now the other stuff you can give at your discretion.
Right, because anything that we purchase, anything that's brought in voluntarily, then it's donated. We have the right to do whatever we would like to do with that in order to help people. The USDA, and it's sort of staged on how many people in the family. But if, say, for example, a single person can come in, if they're making less than $17,000, I think it's $17,000 a year.
For a single home.
For a single home.
Yeah.
If you're signed up with SNAP, if you're living in public housing, there are criteria that you have already met that we don't even have to look and see what your income is.
Right.
Because you've already gone through the government process and everything is already lined up for you to be able to receive food.
Right. And how often can they come in for the USDA?
Once a month. If they have a really bad need and they don't have anything, I don't want anybody to spend a weekend because they've already been in and they can't get anything. Then we'll give them what we call a helper bag.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that we give to a lot of the homeless and the people who are sort of they don't really have an address. They're sort of on the outside looking in a lot of times, so we try to help them as well.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few of those in Robertson County, unfortunately, but they know that they can at least come in there and get some food to sort of get them by. A helper bag.
We called them go bags.
Go bags.
Because we did the same thing. Because you have that, and where we're located, we do deal with a lot of folks that are homeless or. Maybe they're living with friends, something like that, and we would call them go bags. Y'all call them helper bags. I love that.
Just helping them out.
That's just it. I love it. I love it. But so what do people need to do? Okay, a couple of questions first. When do the trucks come in? Because I'm assuming you need more help when the trucks come in. Like what day? Ours, we get them weekly at Madison. We get them on Thursdays. So we know Thursday mornings are the time when we need all hands, like right now, I guarantee you they're getting ready for a truck to come in up at Madison, typically on Thursday. So what is that day here?
Our big truck days, when we get all of the canned goods and everything, is on the 1st and the 3rd of every month on a Wednesday. The truck usually gets there around
the first and third Wednesdays.
Right.
So the first and third Wednesdays of every month are your truck days.
Right. Okay. Now we also, and this is something a lot of the community don't realize, every Wednesday, usually around 7:30, we have a produce truck that comes.
Oh, okay.
And we put everything out in the parking lot. Everybody takes a number. It's first come, first serve. But there's a lot of good things. We had one yesterday, and then we had bags of apples. We had yogurt. We had a lot of salads, a lot of just, different fresh vegetables that people can get. And like I say, anyone, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to be signed up for the food bank to come and pick that up. I tell people that I've got people that'll be in that parking lot really early in the morning. I'm talking about 5 o'clock, waiting for that 7:30 truck.
Oh, bless.
And but it's worth it. We have enough food, and everyone, they take a number and we call them up and they come through. They get what they want. We've had a lot of people say, well, why don't you box it yourselves? Well, we don't want to do that. We want people to be able to get the things that they know they will eat instead of us just putting stuff in a bag and saying, here. That's a good opportunity for people if they're looking for fresh produce. There's lemons. It's just everything you can imagine. I don't know if you know what a Gaylord is, those big, like when you see the watermelons sitting in the aisles like at Kroger or Aldi's or wherever. Those are full. We usually get 5 or 6 containers like that. We get We get a lot of breads, we get a lot of desserts, but mainly it's the produce that we get.
We used to have that. I mean, I'm sure they probably still make their way at the Benevolence Center, and that was always a popular thing because it's not USDA. It's like you said, first come, first serve, and all kinds of interesting things. Things are like, what is that? That was always ours. It's kind of like, what is that thing? I can't remember what it was that came in one time. We got so many acorn squash or something, just an abundance of acorn squash. And we've gotten just, right after Cinco de Mayo, we get lots of avocado.
Right. We had a lot of mangoes yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, people were getting a case of mangoes. I think it was like 6 in a case.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. That's the thing. But also the holidays that have something that's driven around them. We'll get something right after, it seems like, that was associated with that, so it's fun. But you do get some things. I can remember some things coming in and we're Googling, what is it? Some kind of unusual piece of produce. And you're like, oh, okay, it's just some kind of a squash or some type of potato or, anything. And so it's fun. We got spaghetti squash in one time. And I was trying to explain to people how to use it because they weren't really used to spaghetti squash. And I was like, oh, it's great. It's great. Here's what you do, And so we having to kind of teach folks what to do with it, but they were thrilled to get it. And it's fun. It's such a rewarding ministry. If you're looking for something that will really fulfill you when it comes to serving, I was thinking about that the other day. We all need to be serving somewhere. If you're not, find your place. And this is a beautiful place to do it because again, I was on staff. I don't want to make it look like I was doing this voluntarily. This was my job, but I saw the beautiful volunteers that came through there, and I wish I could do more of that now, but school just won't let me. Some of the most fulfilling work I've ever gotten to do was working with this program and just loving on the people who need this help with food assistance, because you hear their stories, and it's stories you think, man, if I didn't have such a supportive family, I could be in their shoes. I'm blessed to be from a family that they will make sure I have what I need. Not everybody has that. There's a whole lot of people that don't have that.
That's true.
A lot of people, and more every day because of the breakdown of the family. And you just don't know. Can you imagine? I've met people, they'll say, well, this one got sick and then they couldn't work, and I'm the only one working, and then we lost our lease on our house, and now we're living in a camper with 3 kids, or living in. I can remember a woman that was living in a hotel with something like 7 or 8 kids, and it just breaks my heart, these stories, and these little sweet kids that we got to feed them. We can't let people in this country be hungry. That is just something we just can't let happen. That's how I feel. Can't happen.
Well, it's true. And it's, I've always, when I've talked to like any of the clubs and I've gone to churches and talked and told them about, our ministry and what we're doing and how we do help the community. And it is a community-based, operation. We are there to support the families that are having food problems.
Yeah.
And a lot of the farmers, I tell people, even if you've got a garden out in your backyard and you've got extra tomatoes or peppers or squash or anything, and it's a little basket, bring it in. Somebody will eat it.
Yes.
Don't throw it away. Don't let it sit there and rot in the field because you just you can't eat it. It's too much for you. Share it with us. We'll take just about anything. There's somebody that'll want something. I've had some of this, like you say, strange things. I even had one time it was like, okay, what is this? We're doing the same thing. We're not really sure what it is.
Yeah.
And it was a fish in a jar, and it took us forever to finally figure out what that was. And that's coming back from the days of Jesus, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's like, it didn't look like something I wanted to eat.
Failed to
But
fish?
somebody, yeah.
Failed to fish.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking
It
about.
was like,
'cause
oh
we
my
got
gosh.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
It
That's a Jewish thing.
Exactly.
A Jewish kosher thing, failed to fish. And we got that too. And
Yeah,
it's kind of pickled fish, I think, or a fermented fish or something.
And it's in a jar. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
it doesn't look pretty, but there are people out there that really did want to have it.
That's just it. We had the same thing, but we had those things come through, and you're like, what? And you really do find it associated with some holidays too that come in, and they end up with it. That's hysterical. Yeah, we remember the Helta fish because we would come in and we're like, I don't know what to do with it. But somebody wants it, but that's fun. I mean, it's a great ministry, guys. If you need to serve, if you're not serving, and I don't mean, I have so many people who I know that have been blessed financially, and they're like, well, I work hard and I work all these hours and I've got to work, and then I do this financial support. That we need that. Absolutely. Everybody needs that. But you have no idea what you're robbing yourself of if you're not giving back some way of yourself to others in a service capacity, because it just changes you. And I can't say enough about it. And I've got people who I love so much, and you just can't help them. They just don't see. When you get some skin in the game, it's different. It's different than just being that financial support. Financial support, yes, give more. But when it comes to really getting your hands in these, there was a woman that I knew that passed away, but she was so involved in so many lives. And she says, if you really want to, change the world, you have to get involved in their messy lives, and she said it much more eloquently than that. But
That's true.
She says, you got to get in there with them. And when you do, you just have no idea how rewarded you're going to be.
Right.
One
of the things that's coming up, in fact, I just had a meeting with the person I talked to through the school district. We, over the years, they've always had a food drive at all the schools in Robertson County.
Right.
And that's going to be coming up, here we are, before we know it, it's going to be Christmas. Thanksgiving, then Christmas. So we have the food drive. So I want to encourage people, if you have kids in school, that's a way to start them out on that learning lesson of giving and being a part of the community and trying to help others. We will be having our drive starting towards the end of October, and we have half the schools do it for 2 weeks, collect up the foods. Then the next 2 weeks, we have the other half of the school districts participating. And that's a big thing for us. That helps support us and keeps us from having to buy a lot of food, usually through, part of November, December, and even on into the first of the year. Because these kids, man, I tell you what, I'm sure they go in and they're talking their parents up about the fact, if we get to give all this food away, they're going to have us a pizza party if we're the top winners, and it's going to be the top winner in the elementary and the middle school and the high school. We're going to throw them a pizza party. So I know that's a lot of encouragement for the kids. So hopefully the parents will jump in and help.
I love it.
Yeah, we appreciate the school district and all they do to try to help us.
If you can attach it to something to get the kids' interest, man, they'll bring it. They'll bring it. Can't remember what we did when my kids were at Good Pasture. They had some kind of an incentive, and I can't remember what it was. But being it was a Christian school, they had a little more leeway than the public schools. And I mean, you might have even gotten out of a test, or maybe, I don't know what it was, but there was a big incentive because they had they still have very successful food drive up at Good Pasture. But I've seen them try at Greenbrier. I've heard a couple of them come through, and I thought, man, we need to get. I'm glad we have this talk, because I need to talk to the different clubs and stuff, and we need to figure out how to get Greenbrier really involved and make sure that we bring it for the community for the food drive, and really be supportive. And just I don't know. There's got to be, see if Chat GPT can give us some new ideas on helping food drives and getting kids incentivized to bring food in for these food drives, because that's something they like participating in, these little competitions between classes or between schools. Maybe we need to make it a rival between us and Springfield, since we're such rivals.
There you go.
Springfield High School. So, but that, what's the Vietnam game we do, the Pitts, and I can't think of the other. There's two names. There was a boy that graduated from Springfield and one that graduated from Greenbrier. And they died in Vietnam, and we get together and we have a game every year between Springfield and Greenbrier. And Pitts is one of the names, and I'm just going blank, and somebody's going to be screaming at me. But that might be a really good thing to attach to that game. Mm-hmm. I think I can find it here in just a second. I thought you might know, since you're a local.
No,
Pitts Carroll. I think it's the Pitts Carroll, something like that. Pitts Carroll game. Somebody's going to get me for not knowing that. there's a painting of right here it is. Yeah, it's Pitts Carroll. It's the Pitts Carroll football game, and it's between Dwight Carroll was from Springfield, and William Pitt was from Greenbrier. They both were lost in Vietnam, and so we play this game every year. The Pitt Carroll Trophy goes to the school who wins. We won't talk about it because Springfield's kind of a bigger district than us. It's a little hard. I'm not sure it's a fair match, but because we're having to play up. But anyway, we'll get you one of these years, y'all. But that might be something we could do because for the community is to somehow associate maybe a food drive with that.
Yeah,
that would be something special.
That would be nice.
I don't know how soon it's coming up, but let me work on that. But we need to do something because we got to have something to get this, get the drive for that for this a little bit more, and it not just be, hey, we're doing a food drive. Let's really do it. And I know they've tried. I've seen some efforts at Greenbrier, but I just don't see the kids owning it like they need to.
Right.
So we need to get some ownership in this, and maybe I'll show them a segment of this. We'll do something. So we can't bring it up.
Right. Some of the banks in town will have they'll have a food drive within their organization. A lot of the industry have done that, and we appreciate that. I mean, because it's not that hard. I mean, if everybody gives a little, we get a lot.
You bet.
And that makes all the difference in the world. So, I mean, if you're out there and you're thinking about something that you want to try to do to help the community this holiday season, think about a food drive for us because, like I say, we can always use the food. Mm-hmm. It's something that's not going to go away. I see the need only getting greater with the cost of everything.
Yeah.
A lot more people are struggling just to put food on the table for their families that probably never had that problem in the past. But as everything goes up, except for what you're making, you're bringing in only so much, but everything that you're having to bring in from the grocery store is getting out of sight.
You better believe it.
So it'd be an opportunity to help your community and give back.
Well, we'll work on that. I'll talk to some of them at Greenbrier and see if we can't be a part of that as well and really try to step up our food drives a little bit. We're talking with Sherry with United Ministries, and we're out of time. It's 8 o'clock. Any parting thoughts before we finish up?
Well, I want to thank United Way for allowing me the time to come in and talk today. I tell you what, United Way in this community does a great job, and I want to pat them on the back because
they're wonderful.
A lot of things happen with their assistance, and people don't realize it. They don't recognize what all United Way does for the community.
You better
so I want to thank them for their efforts and the opportunity to come in and talk to everyone. And I always love people to come in and see what we're doing. So I invite you, come up to the food bank, and I'm always there on Thursday. I'm usually there sometimes on Wednesdays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, but Thursday's my day to actually work in the food bank. And I would like to see people come in and just see what we're doing. If you're interested in volunteering, we'd love to have you. If not, at least you know more about what we've got going on there.
And you can certainly donate. You can
Absolutely
certainly donate, and can always use that. And I do want to plug the fair going on through Saturday. Tonight is the last night you can get that $18 ticket and ride all the rides. And it is car show night. You've got Mojo Parker on the acoustic stage, Jim Guston Band on the Century stage. Oh my goodness, I've seen him. I know him. He's awesome. And motocross in the arena. So $18 gets you in. You can ride all the rides all night for one price. And seniors, you can bring in a toy for the Kiwanis Club toy drive, and you can get in for free. Now, you can't ride the rides. That's you got to buy the ticket if you want to ride the rides. But that will get you in free where you can go to see all the shows and also see the exhibits and things like that. So now the Friday and Saturday ticket price, I can't remember exactly what it is for adults. I'm wanting to say it's like $6 for kids, but then you have to buy your tickets. But they do have an armband time from 3 to 7 on Saturday that you can use an armband. But just please pay attention to the fair. What great weather we're having right now for it. We do need some rain, but maybe it'll rain in the morning and not for the fair. But get out to the fair, you guys, happening right now, Robertson County Fair, and get out to United Food Ministries. They are the United Ministries Food Bank. I get it all jumbled up. Thank you, Sherry, so
Thank
much for
you.
being here. And thank you guys for being here. Just so much going on, so many things to choose from, but it's all good. It's here in Robertson County. We want you to be a part of it. We've got a football game tonight, too, a Thursday night game. Greenbrier's playing, so we've got just everything's going on. So we invite you to be a part of it, invite you to be a part of One Street Over tomorrow. It is Faith Friday. Rachel Culver will be in the house. I think Gwen may be joining us again, too. So it's going to be a fun day. I hope you'll join us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.